I want to share some of my experience that I had this morning, and I really contemplated and meditated on whether it was even something that I should share. But the more I sat with it, the more I realized, yes, I feel like it is because this is part of my journey that definitely resonates with other people's journey as well. And as we are in this Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, Uranus about to go retrograde, Pluto retrograde, like we're in a retrograde season. We are being brought back to our past in many different forms, in many different ways, to either re-experience or just remember experiences that we had. And that's what happened for me this morning. I was cleaning out, I'm not going to read, but I was cleaning out my nightstand, and I came across an envelope that I had written to myself: important, do not lose or touch. I'm not sure why I wrote that, but I had really written to myself and documented things that I'm actually really glad that I did, because these are areas and several years of trauma, emotional abuse, and other experiences that I had years ago that I have forgotten about. And that's what happens with the brain and the coping mechanisms within the brain to continue moving on. These things get stored in the subconscious mind. But I had dated. Intuitively, somehow I knew, and this is before I had my awakening. So this is going back from 2012 to 2014, a really dark period of my life. Also, a great period of time of change that I had, I guess for the most part, after reading all of this, I denied seeing the fact that I needed to leave a situation, or because so basically what I got from what I had written to myself through my personal experiences within relationship and just life experiences that were thrown my way definitely are in alignment with what I've come to realize since then, was that I didn't have a voice. I wasn't heard. I wasn't seen. And I was being manipulated and emotionally abused in multiple ways. And to the depth, I forgot. That's what I'm talking about. Trauma, the real deep, hardcore things, we hide, we store somewhere in our body. I knew that there had been some really bad things that happened, and I was in a situation that was toxic for me. I'm not going to call anybody toxic. I don't like that word even, but it was toxic for me because after experiencing several years of having been the scapegoat and blamed for certain things that were not even my doing, I had nothing to do with at all, I shut down and I became quiet. And I stopped defending myself. I stopped speaking up for myself altogether. And I began to slowly but surely numb myself out, to the point where that's how I forgot about these incidences. So I'm kind of glad that I wrote to myself. Not only did I write to myself, but I documented and dated each and every event, because it was one after the other, after the other, after the other, and it just never stopped. And then there's letters that I had written to therapists and whatnot. So even though I sought help, I was even told by a therapist that, yeah, you should probably, leave. I found some journal entries that I was terrified. I was afraid. I didn't trust myself. This is what gaslighting will do. This is what that emotional manipulation will do to a person, is it turns it onto the other person and has them feel like they are the problem. And so I spent many years, because I had fallen into, I gave up, but I stayed in a situation, but I gave up defending myself and instead turned to numbing myself out, which was even worse. That was part of my journey to understand that. And when I came out of all of that, I quickly realized I need to go on my own. I need to go somewhere else and clean my act up. And so, that was, again, 5-6 years ago. But this stuff stays with us. These events, even if we don't have them as memories, the cellular memory stays in the body. So, and we carry that with us until we're able to release it somehow, some way. And we usually manifest or attract in someone else into our life to help trigger and bring up these repeating situations that we are meant to heal from, we're meant to experience, and then transcend to move beyond and not carry and store within ourselves. These events that I was reading to myself this morning, it brought the whole memory bank back to life. Not in the way that I was reliving, but I then began to question, why did I stay? Why did I think that was love? Why did I stay so long in a situation that was so not in alignment with myself? That was my soul's lesson to experience. And of course, yes, we are kind of consumed by energy at times, especially certain planetary transits will really consume us in relationships, in situations where we almost become suffocated within themselves, and we lose ourselves. We lose our faculties. We lose, there's something there that we're meant to learn from and transcend. And a lot of times it triggers ancestral trauma within us. And depending on how we respond and react to these, and everybody's different, but these life lessons, some people stay in them for forever. I stayed in mine for a very long time until it became so not only unhealthy, but I had another grand awakening. And that's the universe Uranus will do that for us, and Pluto will bring some cataclysmic event or certain people into our lives that really shake us up and wake us up to move beyond what it is that we had been participating in. And that's exactly what happened for me. I had a certain somebody come into my life that really woke me up and shook me up. And it was interesting how that all went down. And that's a whole nother set of trauma, right? So, but we're always waking up and realizing more about how we are not being true to ourselves, true to our nature, our authenticity, and not speaking up for ourselves, standing up for ourselves. So that's definitely in my birth chart. It's in my life path. I see it now. I'm very clear on, yes, I'm going to be very straightforward in any relationship that I am in with anybody, and I'm going to have a voice. And if I'm not able to be heard or seen for what it is that I need to express, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to love you and move on. That definitely is a big karmic lesson that I've learned so far, and we have more. But why I wanted to bring this up is because with the retrograde cycles, with Uranus's retrograde, it's going to retrograde, I think, until January 21st or 23rd, something like that, of next year. During that period of time, we will be having things from our past within our relationships and karmic lessons that are going to resurface, replay out. And it could just be a memory. It could just be, suddenly you found that you wrote to yourself something. I mean, these aren't even journal entries. This was hidden from me. I have not seen this stuff probably since I wrote it. And it just magically appeared to me this morning. And I'm like, wow, thanks, Paige, for documenting and giving me a nice reminder and refresher on these abusive situations and traumatic experiences that I've had. And then I realized that my son had also been a part of that too. So that brings up guilt. And here's the other thing. A lot of this stuff I forgot about. I still carried the guilt and the shame with me, even up until this past year, of the numbing out part of, because I had surgery. So I was on medications that just completely shut me down. And I liked that. I was like, I don't want to be in this experience anymore. Good. I don't want to feel. I don't suggest anybody do that, because first of all, your memory goes, and these memories were gone, but they're not. So there's a big psychic part of me that said, write this stuff down, date it, and it's very thoroughly documented. Life is interesting. It sure is interesting. But this is a beautiful wake-up call for me, because now I can release whatever guilt and shame that I had carried with me, with regards to any guilt and shame of me shutting down. I shut down after I tried to defend myself and be heard, and was just constantly blocked, constantly blamed. I just shut down. Instead of leaving, I shut down. So that was definitely a codependent pattern that I have now recognized since then. Growing up, my father was an alcoholic, so definitely we learn these people-pleasing tendencies. And I want to clear up, because it did dawn on me that not everybody understands what codependency is. And if you are misunderstanding codependency for being dependent, you are not understanding the word. So definitely look it up, research it, because there's a reason why there's one word to it. It describes all of the patterns that one develops, and it doesn't have to be that one of your parents was an alcoholic, but that is definitely a trait of a child of an alcoholic, is codependency. I have a whole book on it. It is our way of surviving in an environment that is not healthy, yet we don't have a choice but to survive in that environment. So we do what we can to make sure that everybody is as happy as they can be. And if not, we're going to do whatever we can to at least keep ourselves out of the storm, out of the situation, out of the toxicity. And it ends up being a habit, a pattern that you carry with you for a long time, until it's brought to your attention that you recognize it. So for anybody who has those people-pleasing tendencies and doing things for everybody else because you're afraid of anybody being mad at you, definitely research and understand what codependency is, because that definitely is what I see here. What Paige wrote to herself, what I wrote to myself many years ago. I see this poor, and this is no pity party. I'm not a victim. This is also a great, wow, that was way worse than what my memory is telling me. And now I understand why I shut down. I understand deeply why I shut down, and I don't feel guilty or shameful for it. I didn't know that I had the option to just leave at that time. There was a inner child part of me that that just didn't know that was even an option. So I wanted to share that with you, with anybody out there who may resonate with what I'm saying. This journey that I'm on, I know reflects and mirrors many others' journeys. So, because we are all facets of the whole, we are all different angles of the whole, And for any of you who you don't resonate with this, I appreciate you listening. I do share these experiences to help others. As I wake up and realize more and more and more on the path, on the journey, I share. I just share. Obviously, I'm a documenter. I'm a sharer from birth, and that's just embedded in my genes. I wonder if there's anything else I wanted to share, because a lot of times when I turn the camera off, I'm like, oh, I forgot to say this, I forgot to say that. I think that's all. Definitely understand that whatever the memories that you can conjure up, or memories they are the only memories that you could cope with carrying with you. There are deeper, more detailed memories stored in the body. As soon as I read these things, those memories pop right back, like I was there, and I felt it all, and I felt the tension and all of the fear. So that's why we go through these waves, and we start to feel like, I don't know why I'm feeling stressed or feeling anxiety or feeling these things, because these deeper memories that your brain shut off are still there. They're still in the subconscious, and they're still in the body, and they rise up, and they continue through the solar weather, through the moon cycles, through all the planetary cycles. It's helping us shake loose all of this stuff, but it seems very confusing. Venus retrograde cycle was very confusing for many, even myself even, especially if you don't take time to meditate or speak with your higher self or your angels or your guides. It can be very confusing if you're just basing it all off of the logical mind. Another reason why I started this YouTube channel, not only to just do tarot readings, those are fun, and those definitely can go deep, but to share everything that I've learned so far and everything that I'm experiencing now, because I'm on this journey with everybody else. And I'm at a point now where I'm fascinated by it, and I'm not affected by it so deeply emotionally. Sure, I'm still a human being. I still have emotions, but I feel like I've healed through a lot of my past trauma. And I understand now, when we get these waves of emotion, waves of tension, waves of stress, anxiety, it is to try to rattle these things loose. The mind will also try to shut that stuff down. So you may find yourself having old memories come up, and there's a part in the mind that just shuts it down right away. Try not to do that. It is sort of like, it's a battle between the head and the heart. And the body wants to express, the body wants to release. The head's like, I don't even want to go there anymore. We've been there. That's over and done with. And the heart's like, it's still here. It's still here. And the body's like, let it go, let it go, let it go. So it's so confusing, because our brains are so programmed and conditioned to deal with trauma in such a way that it just wants to sweep things under the rug and move on, and only have little tiny blurbs of memories, and that's all. So it's really interesting how that works, but that's definitely how it works. And that's why we can sometimes be confused as to why we're feeling certain ways. And, everything in the mind is just honky-dory, but the body's just like, no, it's tense or it's fearful. This is why. So I guess that's all I have for now. I just wanted to share that for any of you who may be experiencing, maybe you're coming across journal entries, or maybe you wrote stuff to yourself a long time ago that you forgot about. That's interesting, and I'm really grateful that I did that, because that really helped seal the deal with closing up a lifetime of karmic cycles for myself, and opening me up to starting a brand new chapter in my life, which I am very grateful for whoever, my guides, the angels who guided me into writing all of this stuff down for myself. I actually typed it. It wasn't even written. I typed all this stuff, and they were all sealed in these different envelopes, and it's interesting myself. So anyway, that's what I have for now. I hope that this helps. Even if this helps one person, I am happy to share any parts of my journey. There's a reason why my name is Paige, is that I want to be an open book and share anything and everything that I am learning and have learned on this journey of life so far. So sending you all so much love. Take care. Bye.